So, throughout the last 10 years I've had this channel, I've talked about a lot of relationships on this channel. Some of them, weren't filled with that much drama. Some of them were. I'm sure some of you have seen those story times before. But this one I'm about to tell you, it's like a new level of stabbed in the back. Yeah, I'm excited to talk about it. I hope you enjoy it. Leave a like on the video if you do, and let's get into it. Also, check out my new song, first link in the description. New album soon. So this story time takes place back in 2016. I'm pretty sure the video I uploaded before this one also took place in 2016. So in 2016, I was still technically living with my mom because I wasn't 18 yet. I was actually just about to turn 18 in this story time. And I was kind of getting ready to move. Now, honestly, I really liked living at my mom's house, and sometimes I miss it, I just lived in the basement, like a little basement dweller, but it was awesome because I had my privacy down there. I could be as loud as I wanted. I could scream at my monitor at all hours of the night when I was playing COD or CSGO, and no one really cared. And I could also make my videos, which was awesome. Now, around this time in 2016, I started to make pretty decent money on YouTube. And I had my own bank account, and I had, most of my money going in there. But also around this time, I wanted to buy a new PC because my PC was getting old and, kind of being weird. So I found one from a seller in my hometown. This dude on Facebook or something was selling it, and it was $2,000, and it was a really nice computer, but he only wanted cash for it. So I went to the bank, I pulled out $2,000 cash, and then I went home, I messaged the guy, and turns out he already sold the fucking thing. So now, around this time, I had $2,000 cash, and the thing I was going to buy with that $2,000 was sold, right? Now, I could have just went and put the money back in my bank account, but I decided, you know what? I'm just going to keep it in my room, in my basement, right? Around this time, I actually wanted to buy, a safe to keep stuff in anyway, valuables. So I went out to the store, I bought this safe for $60 or something, and it was actually pretty good for that price. And I put the safe in my basement, and I put the $2,000 cash in there, and then I hid the key in my ceiling. There was an opening in the ceiling panel. I put the key up there. So now I had this nice little safe under my desk that had my money in there and some other important stuff that I put in there later on, important documents, birth certificate, that kind of stuff, right? So yeah, after that, a couple months went by, and life was pretty good. I just started dating this new girl. My YouTube channel was still doing its thing. Everything was great, right? And this girl that I was dating, I was really getting close with her, right? And we got to that point in our relationship where she started to sleep over all the time, and vice versa. I go to her house and stuff. And one night, she was at my house. She was sleeping over. It was 2 in the morning. We're both just laying on my bed, watching some TV, when she looks at my safe under my desk, and she goes, "What do you got in there?" And I was like, "Do you want to see?" Because I thought I could trust her, right? We were getting pretty close, and I figured, it's just some bullshit documents and some money, probably what she already expects anyway. And she's like, "Sure." So I grabbed the key, and that was my mistake. I grabbed the key in front of her. I should have had her close her eyes or turn around or something so I could grab the key and she wouldn't know where I hid it. But I trusted her so much that I thought, it doesn't matter if she knows where the key is. She won't steal from me. So I grabbed the key from the top of the ceiling. I opened the safe. I show her what's inside. And she literally didn't have any reaction. She was like, "Oh yeah, I figured it was just some money or something." And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "How much is in there?" And I was like, "2K. And she was like, "Oh, cool. Why? Why do you have money under your desk like that?" And I told her what happened. I was like, "Oh, I was going to buy this PC with it, but then it got sold, and I didn't feel like going back to the bank, so I just decided I needed a safe anyway. I'd put it in there." And she was like, "Yeah, makes sense." Now, after this, we both just, laid back down, and within an hour, I fell asleep. I was tired, all right? I fell asleep first, which usually doesn't happen. Usually, I'm last asleep, but yeah, in this instance, I was not. And I woke up about an hour and a half later to a very strange sound. When you're dreaming, and in your dream, you start to hear something in real life, and it kind of is in your dream, and then you realize you're dreaming, and that sound is from, your room, and you wake up. That's what happened. I heard this really weird sound of a chair creaking, right? It sounded like a chair was making noise. And in my dream, I heard that sound, and at first I just thought it was in my dream, right? And then all of a sudden, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm asleep. This is a dream. That's in real life. And I wake up immediately, right? And I see what's making that sound. It's my girlfriend on my chair, my office chair, standing up, which is really dangerous, by the way. You never stand on a chair with wheels. That's stupid because you could fall and break your neck. But she's standing on my office chair, reaching up and moving the ceiling panel to grab my key for my safe. And she's so locked in on doing that she doesn't realize that I just woke up and I'm watching her. So I don't say anything, right? I just let her keep doing what she's doing because at first I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt, right? I wanted to be like, wait, nah, she's not going to steal from me. Like, she's just probably like making sure the key's in the right spot or something, right? Like, I was in denial. But then I see her step off the chair and I close my eyes, right? Because I like don't want her to see that I'm awake. And then like a second later, I like open them just a little bit. Like I squint them. So it still looks like I'm sleeping, but I can kind of see. And I can see that she's staring at me to make sure that I'm like still sleeping, right? And then she looks to her left where my safe is, and she crouches down and starts opening it. And she proceeded to take the $2,000 cash out of my safe. I popped up and I was like, hey, what are you doing? And she looks at me like she just had a heart attack. She's like, oh, you're awake. And I was like, yeah. And I see what you're doing. What the hell? And she's like, I can explain. And she immediately puts my stuff back down in the safe. And I go, yeah, please do. I'd love to hear the explanation. And before she could even start talking, she just like breaks down and starts crying, right? And I just didn't know what to say. I'm just like sitting there. And she goes, like, my mom, she's really sick and she can't pay for treatment. And I didn't know what else to do. And I was like, what? Your mom's sick? What do you mean? And my girlfriend proceeds to start explaining that her mom has cancer and is essentially dying and doesn't have insurance to pay for it. So when my girlfriend found out that I had $2,000 laying around in my room, she thought it'd be a good idea to steal it to help pay for her mom's treatment. That's basically what she told me, right? And I was like sitting there in my head thinking like, okay, either she's lying about this, which would make her a even worse person than a thief, because it's one thing to be a thief, but to then try and justify that stealing by lying about someone having an incurable disease, that's like a whole new level of insane, right? So yeah, I was thinking like, okay, she's either lying, which would be really fucked up, or she's telling the truth, which, stealing from me is still not the move, but at least I would like kind of understand the reasoning, So yeah, I'm just sitting there trying to make sense of it all in my head. I'm thinking like, is she lying? Is she not? She's crying right in front of me. So like that seems genuine, but I don't know if she's crying just because she got caught or because she's sad about her mom, right? So I'm just sitting there in silence for like, 20 seconds or something. And she's like, are you going to say something? And I just told her the truth. I was like, listen, I have no idea what to think right now. So why don't you just go home? I'll talk to you tomorrow. And she's like, wait, you're kicking me out? And I was like, yeah, I just caught you opening my safe and stealing money from me, so like I don't really trust you right now. Yeah, I'll talk to you tomorrow. And she just grabs her stuff and she storms out. And I'm just left sitting there on my bed, like thinking about what just happened. And I'm not gonna lie, I was so tired and just so out of it, I just went back to sleep. I locked my bedroom door and went back to sleep. That was it, right? And the next morning I wake up and I had an idea. I was like, you know what? I'm going to find my girlfriend's mom on Facebook and then send her a message and talk to her and see if this whole story my girlfriend told me is true. So that's what I did. I went on my girlfriend's Facebook, went through her friends, found her mom, and then I messaged her on there. And I was like, hey, it's Austin. I'm dating your daughter. I think you've heard about me before. Can you call me? And I gave her my phone number. And within like 5 minutes of sending the message, my phone starts to ring from this random number. And I answer it. I'm like, hello. And she's like, hey, Austin, and she says her name. And I'm like, oh, hey. And it's my girlfriend's mom, right? And she goes, what's up? Like, I saw your message. Is everything okay? Like, is my daughter all good? And I was like, she's fine, completely fine. I just had something happen last night with her, and I need you to tell me the truth here. I caught her stealing from me, specifically trying to steal $2,000 in cash from me out of my safe, like red-handed. And she started breaking down and crying and said she was stealing it because you have cancer and that like you don't have insurance to pay for it. And she starts laughing. Like she laughs and she goes, what? And I was like, yeah, like, is that true? And she straight up goes, are you screwing with me right now, Austin? I was like, no, like, why would I screw with you? And she's like, my daughter tried to steal from you. And that's what she said. I was like, yep, I wish I was lying. I wish I was kidding. But that is 110% real. And she was in disbelief, just like I was when I saw it. And she proceeds to tell me that she has no disease, that she's actually extremely healthy, and has never had any kind of disease, and that she has insurance, so even if she was sick, she wouldn't need cash to pay for anything, and proceeded to apologize for her daughter's actions like 18 times, right? To which I was like, it's all good, it's not your fault, like, don't worry about it. And she's like, no, like, I raised my daughter to be better than this, like, I can't believe this, you seem like such a nice boy, and she's betraying you like that. And she was, like, on my side, which was honestly kind of nice, because I feel like most parents in this situation would have been, like, you know, defending their kid, because a lot of parents think their kids can do no wrong. So I thought that was going to be the situation, but she was actually very, very, like, on my side about it. And yeah, needless to say, I dumped my girlfriend like 10 minutes later. I called her and I was like, yep, just talk to your mom. You lied. And lying about your mom having a disease that serious is honestly like just as screwed up as stealing from me, in my opinion. So yeah, I don't trust you anymore. Have a good one. Bye. And we broke up. Now, I wish the story ended there, but I also found out after doing a quick room search that some other things were missing. So she had probably been stealing from me and putting stuff in her bag without me realizing for quite a while. Yeah, I found out that like a pair of shoes went missing that was worth like $500. One of my necklaces went missing that I like never wore, and a ring. And I actually was able to get all of those things back because I messaged her mom seeing if like her daughter had any of those things in her room or like in the house. And she sent me pictures back and they were there. So I got everything back that I knew was missing. There's honestly probably other stuff she got away with taking that like I just didn't realize was gone at that time. But yeah, man, I learned a valuable lesson. You can't trust everybody. And if you have a safe in your room full of valuable things, don't show people where the key is, because I'm an idiot for that. But yeah, guys, moral of the story is don't be ignorant like I was, you know, be careful with who you trust, especially with information like a key to your safe that holds valuable things. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this story time. If you did, please leave a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below. And subscribe if you're new. I will see you all later. Peace.
I was stepping out at 4 a.m. cause I couldn't take every thought up in my head and all the words from you snakes. Said I'm coming back for everything on my brother's grave. Keep on sending all those shots while I aim for the brain. Yeah, tell them what's up, now it's no debate. They were sleeping on me, now I got